your team's ability to keep the opposition in the yard, as you call it, has been pretty good this season. Has that been one of
Well, one of the things, we don't feel like contested two-point field goals will beat you. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to get beat in the paint, you're going to get beat with fast break, you get beat behind the three-point line, but we just don't think teams are going to beat you making contested two-point shots. You know, they can beat you if you foul and get to the free throw line, but that's our whole philosophy, is to try to make those teams make those shots against us. You know, sometimes it looks like, well, man, that guy's really open, you know, why didn't somebody rotate to him? Well, we'd much rather give a guy a long two rather than rotate over and let another pass give a guy an open three. So, you know, we think at the end of the day you play your percentages, and, you know, somebody might get hot and it might make a few, but at the end of the day we just think that we'll stay with what we're doing and not panic, that usually it works itself out.
Elton seems to be a lot more aggressive and offensive than you see when he used to.
Well, as I said before, Meredith, I think he would just get his legs. You know, I just, you know, sometimes we like things to happen a little bit sooner than they're ready to do, but there's no more diligent worker than him. And I don't think there's anyone any happier for him than me or his teammates the other night. When he had the big game, I think it was Sac, and I thought he played very well the other night in New York. I thought he was active, did some nice things. So, I mean, he played 5 games in 6 nights, 3 in a row, so I thought that was a very positive sign.
Doug, you were saying last night when you guys kept coming back despite being down quite a bit, how proud you were and everything. Are you finding this year, like because of the lockout, because teams are playing so many games in so many days, that, you know, it's less likely for teams to like really make that push to come back from a big deficit?
I don't think so. You know what, I think you find situations now where sometimes you get teams go through droughts out there, you know, where all of a sudden, you know, maybe they can't score, and maybe you can take advantage of that or get yourself back in the game. So I really haven't seen that. I think a lot of it is just, you know, the tenacity of your team and how you play, and, you know, they always hear from me, you know, we're not going away. I mean, that's just sort of our motto. We're not going to go away. It's just we're going to keep playing. And you know, we weren't able to win the Portland game. We weren't able to win the New York game the other night coming back. But I think if you went back to last year, I think you saw that 12th, you know, team the first 2 home games last year. We were down 28 to Miami Heat, to cut it to 5. And then against Atlanta, we were down 20 or so. And Josh Smith hit that 3 out of the corner, and we cut that game to 3. So I just think if it becomes your personality and it's ingrained in what you do, I just think it becomes second nature. So it's not like we're making some big push to do that. It's just that's our personality.
Hey, Doug, what did you see out of Tony that you like and something you'll be able to utilize further down the road in New York?
First of all, he's a very smart player, John, and we love Tony for a lot of reasons. He's a very good competitor. He's got good size. He's very smart. He knows where to be. And he's a great mentor. I told Nick the other day, anytime you get a chance to sit around Tony, you sit next to him and you absorb everything you can from this guy, because he's been around and he knows what's going on, and sit next to him on the bench. And but Tony had some life in his legs, you know. And again, he had a couple injections in his knees before the season started. Same thing as last year. And again, I keep reiterating, sometimes with big guys, it just takes them a little bit longer. Tony can make the open shot, so he fits into our offense. He can make that little 15-foot jump shot. He knows where to be. He's a very stable guy. And with our team, especially when he's out there with Thad, or maybe a guy who's you know, going to take some chances, it's nice to have a guy back there who's going to be in the right spot. And Tony gives us all those things.
What do you think of Dwight Howard's game?
I didn't see it. I heard about it. I don't watch NBA basketball. I just don't do it. I go home and I rest.
Okay.
I did watch Duke last night. Okay. You want to talk about that game?
But it seems unique in today's NBA to kind of play this team-oriented style that you guys play. Was that something that was hard to implement for you?
I've had a lot of different teams. I mean, I had Michael Jordan my first year when he averaged about 38 a game. You know, so I've had a guy that's led the league in scoring, and I've had teams where I've had 2 guys average about 25. You know, so I think it's just based on personnel. I think it's a job of a coach to try to look at his team and say, what's the strengths of our team and what do I need to do to make sure we maximize those? And I think with Chicago, you saw as Scotty and Horace and some of the younger guys got better. Michael's scoring started coming down. He was always, I thought the best defensive player at his position in the league. But in Detroit, I had Grant Hill and Allen Houston and Jerry Stackhouse and Rip Hamilton in Washington with Michael and stuff. So I've had it where I've had 2 guys average about 45 to 50, and I've had it where I've got 6 guys in double figures. So I just try to figure it out based on who we have.
It seems like with this group, they've accepted that kind of team-oriented style maybe more than some other teams might.
Well, I think that's we know that for us to do that, it gives us a better chance to win. I mean, I'm not a garbage time guy. Like one thing I've always told our guys, I said, if it's a 20-point game, chances are you're not going to get an extra 5 or 6 points in the game, because I just have never rewarded that late in games. I just never have. So our guys know that usually every point they score is a pretty important point.
What do you like better, a couple more guys? The team concept or having guys go?
Well, I mean, there's strengths and weaknesses of both. I mean, the one thing about it is if you're on a team where you've got 5, 6, 7 guys in double figures, guys are more likely to move around and run the floor and do that kind of stuff when the shots are dispersed. On the other side of that, it's nice to have that guy that at the end of the game that can get a shot anytime you want him to get it and throws up those huge numbers, get you to the foul line. So there's pluses and minuses in both.
Who was the closest guy or the closest guys to do that on this roster, Doug? To get that, to be guys to get that last shot. Who was the guy?
Every night tonight, John. Could be Lou Williams. Could be last time in exhibition it was Drew Holiday.
Drew in New Orleans.
Drew in New Orleans. I mean, Dre had some big moments in one of the games. I can't remember which one it was. I mean, Jody Meeks had 17 in the fourth quarter, the one game we broke open that night. So, I mean, for us, it's not like any one particular guy. We don't have that prototypical closer.
Right.
But what we try to do is just sort of see what we can do on that particular night and maybe who's got an advantage and try to take advantage of that. So it's nice when we have 2 or 3 guys playing well at the end of the game. It gives you a little bit of a different choice that you can make.
And even your later guy closer, Carmelo was 0 for 6 against you guys in the fourth quarter. So
yeah, well, but the thing about it is, the ball's going to go to him, and he's going to get the shots, and he's going to get a chance to get to the foul line and everything. So it's just a different.
Yeah.
We can't play that way. If we do, we can't win.
Right.
And I think our guys recognize that winning is by far the most important thing. I was incredibly proud of our guys the other night, John. I thought our locker room after the game was great. I talked to them about it today. I said, guys, you have to understand when teams come in here to play us now, we're in first place right now. It's a different deal than it was last year. I mean, they're looking at a team that's leading the Atlantic Division. So we got to be ready to go.